Hey guys, welcome back to another breakdown video. I know these aren't the most popular videos, but I have so much fun looking into all the intricate details of what's happening in these episodes. Hey guys, my name is Casey. I'm a huge Power Ranger fan. Thank you so much for jumping on this video. Seriously, I have so much fun doing these, and it's just kind of a release of getting to do something fun, and I enjoy this so much. So if you're enjoying it, if you like the video, please subscribe, join the foil helmets, and get on board with this. It means a lot. Before we get started, I want to encourage you guys to go over to the Zeo To Hero Podcast. Jim and Billy are awesome dudes, and it was a lot of fun to get to just talk about a lot of nerdy Power Ranger stuff. I've gotten to do 2 interviews with them. It's been really fun. Check it out. I'll link it here. So let's get started with our 4th episode of Dino Fury called New Recruits. Episode 4 is directed by Chris Graham. He also directed episode 3, so I have a whole breakdown of who he is and his career leading up to Power Rangers on the last video, so check that out if you haven't already. We didn't see Area 62 in episode 3, and now the first scene is at Void Knight's base. Now, I know I sound like a dad cheering on his kid at a Little League game, but I love that we're getting a variety in the layout of these episodes. If we were getting a cookie cutter layout like the original series did, we'd get this sort of storyline every episode. Rangers are kicking it at Buzz Blast, then Jane and J-Borg come in and do something silly. Change to Void Knight having a Sporks beast appear, tell them to go after the Rangers. Then we'd shift to the Rangers walking in the park. They get attacked by Hingeman and the monster. Then they go to the base with Solon and talk about how can we beat the monster. Then they go back and fight the monster with some new weapon. Then Zord battle. Then back to Buzz Blast to see Jane and J-Borg do something comical. Freeze frame, and that's it. Now, I'm not saying this structure can't work for an episode, but so far we are getting lots of variety in the layouts of these episodes, which for the Power Ranger fans out there who say the new series suck, I think this proves that they are not sucking. They are indeed going beyond the basic Ranger show. We see Void Knight working on a robot who turns out to be Boom Tower. These are some impressive skills for a warrior like Void Knight. He is intelligent besides just having brute strength. Boom Tower is voiced by Mark Mitchinson. Mark was born in 1966 in the UK, but moved to New Zealand. He went back to the UK to study at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London. He ended up running his own business until 2002, when he moved back to New Zealand and started working on his acting career again, at the age of 36. After 4 years, he got his first TV roles. He started his connection to Power Rangers in 2009, when he voiced General Shifter in Power Rangers RPM, voiced Trickster and Armadevil in Samurai, continued in Megaforce voicing Creepox. Around this time, he obtained the role of Braga in the Hobbit franchise. He won the Best Actor award in 2011 for his role in the film Bloodlines. Returned to Dino Charge voicing Singe, Sheriff Skyfire in Ninja Steel, Turbotron in Beast Morphers, and then once again, he returns to voice Boom Tower. This guy is amazing. He started his acting career way late in film and TV compared to most people, but he's crushing it now with over 71 different projects on IMDb. Void Knight brings Boom Tower to life. Boom Tower has once again the checkered pattern on his wrists and various other places. We are now starting to really see our chess theme, where we have Hingeman who typically appear in groups of 8, much like a chessboard. Void Knight is our knight, and now we have Boom Tower, which of course is referring to the tower-shaped piece, the Rook, who moves straight forward, backwards, or side to side, which represents Boom Tower's abilities very well. He is direct and a brute force type of general. He isn't coming at someone with an angle. This is reiterated when Mucus says, well, he's not smart, but is he tough? Although we are missing our second knight and rook, this still leaves us speculating if we will see a bishop, queen, and king later on. Mucus teleports in with Dragnarok, which is a Sporks beast we saw in the first episode during one of the flashbacks. Dragnarok is voiced by Richard Simpson. Richard has been involved in Power Rangers for a while now. Besides Dragnarok, Richard also voiced Tidemar in Dino Fury, Bulldozatron in Beast Morphers, Metacore in Super Megaforce, Naja in Jungle Fury, as well as Phantom Beast General Snapper, and Operation Overdrive's Ultrog. But you probably know his longest running parts better, where he played Keeper in Dino Charge and Ninja Steel's Galvanax. Researching the rest of his work is difficult. I've never seen IMDb do this, but he was born in 1980, but yet he has acting credits listed back to 1966. I believe there's another actor with the same name, and for some reason they just got grouped together. And it says he did voice work for 1997's Legend of Zelda on Nintendo 64, which is really cool if it's true. Is Richard Sampson a Highlander? Is that why he is so old but yet so young looking? There can be only one. Richard is also a singer for the band City of Souls. I don't know how popular they are in New Zealand. There are comments on their videos saying this song was on the radio. If anyone is from New Zealand, tell me if you have heard of them. And if you are interested, I'll link their YouTube channel right here. It's heavier and I'm digging it so far. Long Gone is a great music video if you want to see Richard in action. Void Knight says they need to power up Boom Tower with the Nephrite Orb. Nephrite actually stuck out to me. I don't talk about this a lot, but I actually have a college degree in science, and I studied earth science, which is the study of rocks and minerals. Nephrite is actually a combination of calcium, magnesium, and iron-rich minerals, tremolite and actinolite, more commonly known as jade. Now, the interesting thing is this specific jade comes in two colors, black and green. This is an awesome Easter egg and would have been a really cool hint at the green and black ranger keys being inside the orb, but of course, we already know they're going to be rangers from the opening credits. Comment below and let me know if that annoys you as much as it does to me. Why reveal that in the theme song? It just ruins it. Boom Tower objects to Void Knight sending Dragnarok to get the orb. Void Knight allows Boom Tower to overthrow this order. I've said it in the last breakdown video, but Void Knight isn't our typical villain. It's obvious he is not there to just attack the Rangers. This shows his lack of leadership, or maybe better put, dictatorship. You know, he folds from time to time, which kind of shows us that maybe he isn't this evil mastermind that we're supposed to believe he is. Now we shift to Buzz Blast, where Zeo is being encouraged by Amelia to apply for the journalism job. We get the cool Coolio saying, Ollie teaches Zeo, which I think is just Ollie having fun, but it makes me think of Community, of course. We jump forward to Amelia and Ollie waiting outside of Jane's office, where you hear harmonica playing. Pans over, nice little camera work there, and we see Javi playing harmonica with terrible technique. Okay, I'm a musician and this drives me absolutely crazy. This is the entertainment industry. There has to be someone on set who knows about musical instruments. Like, you don't play harmonica like that. It's not that hard to fake. And also, dang it, Chance, who plays Javi, is a great singer and he's been around music a bit. Born 1997 and from California, Chance first was on America's Got Talent with a group called WVKE. They got buzzed pretty quickly and Simon Cowell berated them, and the only positive thing he said was Chance's vocals. That seemed to be the end of Chance's musical career. But then the year was 2016. The mega hit boy band One Direction had released their last album and were all starting to produce solo projects. The world was bleeding and we needed to be saved. Then appeared Boy Band, a reality show based on boy bands. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in 2017, the world put itself back out there for a new boy band to take over those teenage girls' hearts. Chance was one of the 5 finalists that, in the end, formed the band in real life. The band was active from 2017 to January 20th of 2020, and that time he got to travel to all sorts of countries performing. There is an old live stream on YouTube of Chance talking about the band's breakup. He said the band members had been getting offers to do other things. They felt that they all wanted to pursue those avenues. He mentioned that he was pursuing acting. Later that year, his role on Power Rangers was announced. So far, it's the only thing on IMDb as far as his acting career. Okay, so back to the show. Ollie asks if he's applying for the reporter job, and Javi says, yes, I'm saving up for a keytar. Chance delivers this line so well. Like a keyboard, you play like a guitar? Well, they're not cheap, so fingers crossed. Jane comes out of the office with Zeo and assigns each of them a story as a final test. Javi gets sent to cover the Nephrite Orb. Zeo is assigned a story on the top athlete at Pine Ridge High. Jane says, I want to know everything about her. Now, this is what watching the show like 5 times has done for me. People really love to hate the comic relief, but honestly, Kira Josephson is hilarious. I just like her reaction to Zeo in this. So we go to the high school track and Zeo comments that humans do strange things. We then see a javelin whiz past and we reveal Izzy Garcia, played by Tisa Rayo. Tisa is a New Zealand actress. She studied in the US at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. She is extremely talented, being an excellent singer and makeup artist with 2 credits on short films called Zozo and Skid Row for her makeup work. She played Abigail Williams in The Crucible, Eponia in Les Mis, and several other great roles. The fact we didn't get a duet between her and Chance is ridiculous. Come on, Hasbro. Anyway, this is her first major role, although she's been acting for a while now. She was a small character named Evelyn on one episode of the show Auckland Love. Not on her episode, but in a lot of episodes of the show, actress Sarah Wiseman, who played Arla later in the series, is on it. But in her episode, it has actress Andy Crown, who voiced the Datacoms in Ninja Steel. She was also in a movie called Into the Rainbow, which also starred Bruce Hopkins, who voiced Gecko in Jungle Fury, Clobster from Mystic Force, Ringba and Praxis from SPD, Ruby Dragon from Dino Thunder, and his longest-running character Chubo in Ninja Storm. The movie also featured Emmett Skilton, who played Jax in Beast Morphers, Stabarus and Dreadwolf from Ninja Steel, and Professor Strickler from Dino Charge. Colin Moy, who played a police officer in Beast Morphers, Glenn Levy, who has been a stunt coordinator on Jungle Fury, Overdrive, Mystic Force, Dino Thunder, and Ninja Storm, and Jacqueline Joe, who plays Fern in... Aww, look at that. Zeo goes up to Izzy asking if she would do an interview. He says he threw javelins when he was a knight. When she says, "I'll call you if I see any dragons," Zeo jumps into action saying, "Are there dragons here?" So by my standards, this means that Rafcon has real dragons on their planet. She says she doesn't do interviews and says she needs to improve her throw before next meet. Zeo makes a deal with her to show her how to get more distance in exchange for a story. It works. Izzy calls him Mr. Knight, and we are already starting to see Izzy's happy side. They start the interview, and Izzy claims that there is no secret to her abilities, it's just practice, or that's what her father, the warden, says. Amelia gets a bit awkward and asks if it's the park warden, and Izzy says technically it's her stepdad. So this is interesting because there is a ton of speculation of who Amelia's parents are, but I don't hear anyone asking about who Izzy's biological dad is. And later we discover Javi is her brother, but is he her stepbrother? So far, all our characters don't have their biological father around. Zeo's flashback only shows his mother. Ali and his mom are on their own. Amelia's parents are not around. And now Izzy's and maybe Javi's biological dad is a mystery. I wonder if this is something we'll get answers to or not. We jump over to the museum where Javi is interviewing a professor about the Nephrite Orb. Right away, Boomtower, Mucus, and Dragnarok teleport in. Everybody runs in fear, and Javi hides nearby. Once the villains take the Nephrite Orb, Javi calls the hotline to get the Rangers there. Zeo's interviewing Izzy and he tells her he has to leave. They head out and we go back to Boomtower pulling out the Nephrite Orb as he says, "I don't know what Nephrite is. I do. But I know power when it's in my hand." Then suddenly Park Warden Garcia pulls up and tells them to put the Nephrite Orb down. Where are the freaking police? I mean, I know that they don't have the Silver Guardians, but what is a Park Warden going to do? Boomtower uses a sword and knocks the Warden down to the ground, where he belongs. Well, not like dead. I just mean like he had no chance in this fight. Seriously. No chance. The Rangers show up and they morph once again, a pretty cool morphing scene. The camera moves and has some motion. I like that they are putting in effort to make these repetitive scenes a little different each time. While the Rangers fight Boomtower and Dragnarok because Mucus is just sitting off to the side, Javi comes up and hears Boomtower bragging. The Rangers knock the orb out of his hands. Javi runs and picks it up, jumps in the Warden's SUV and takes off as Mucus turns to slime and lands on the vehicle. Next we see Jayborg and Annie coming out of the van to do a Buzz Blast segment, and Jane assures Jayborg to read what's on the prompter. Jane is typing and is giving Jayborg direction until she spills her smoothie all over the keyboard. As she wipes it up, Jayborg reads all the gibberish. When we see Jane's screen, there are some interesting things on there. Haraka is actually Zeme for pure and not impure. Kep is British dialect, whatever that means, for intercept and hinder. Glupa is Serbian for stupid. Vorp is a baseball acronym for value over replacement player. Oche is the emperor of the gods, god of war, revenge, exploration, and endeavors. Iko on Urban Dictionary is someone who can't control their temper. Durf is Scottish for someone who is bold and daring. Quaz is someone who is extremely uncool, according to Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary lists Joba as slapping someone so hard until they stop being a Sif can stand for a lot of things, most of them pretty dirty. And Aich stands for, and I call him her. Now, after the chaos ends, we go to the Rangers checking in on Warden Garcia at the Pine Ridge Medical Center. Izzy runs up to check on her dad. I get this part is just to be funny, but we sort of have a big problem here. Izzy asks, "Are you okay?" And he says, "Depends. How was practice?" Excuse me, sir, there's a freaking Sporgs beast and a Rook monster going after a young man with a Nephrite Orb. Oh, that's your son? We clearly know who the favorite child is. Izzy definitely is perking up up in front of the Rangers. Now the warden says, Javi's always disappearing. I'll let you know if I hear something. Then he leaves. His son is in danger, and his response is, what are you gonna do? What a jerk. Izzy tells the Rangers she knows where he is. Tells them Javi plays music and their dad doesn't approve. Dude, strike 3 on this guy. You are a terrible parent, sir. So she leads them there. Now we have Javi pulling up on a fenced off area reading Keep Out. He has the Nephrite Orb with him and mucus is still plastered on the back of the SUV. Mucus comes off the SUV teleporting to tell their buddies. Then Javi is surrounded by Dragnarok and Boomtower. Boomtower takes the orb, but it's hit out of his hands by Izzy's javelin. The brother and sister team find the orb and hide behind a tree where they watch the Rangers being overpowered. Javi uses the power of the harmonica music to distract the villains. Not the first time music has been used.
You little man.
Boomtower talks about its power and we see a pulse wave of energy go through Izzy. Not the same as connecting to the morphing grid though, which makes me wonder why the orb did that for her only. Javi throws the orb down and it breaks with these sparks of green shooting out all over the place. You can see 2 Dino keys in the middle. They both take one. Javi fuses with the black Dino key and Izzy with the green, which is really exciting because this is the first green female ranger we've had in the show. It is very exciting and one of the reasons why Izzy is just so cool and unique. I stated this in the first breakdown, but this brings up a plot hole. Amelia and Ollie fused to the morphing grid with the Chroma Fury sabers. Then they were given the Dino keys. Izzy and Javi just fused with the Dino keys, then the sabers appeared after morphing. This in theory means the Chroma Fury sabers are equal to the Dino keys in means of connecting to the morphing grid. I think the keys are what gives them the suits, but they can be one with the morphing grid with just the sabers. Now this is another moment for the first ever green female ranger. She sees the skirt and rips it off saying, skirts were never my thing. This really is a great representation of what Izzy is. She is different and unique. Yes, we've had female rangers with no skirt on their uniform before, but Izzy doesn't allow the powers to take over who she is. She decides what she wants, and it's cool to see her more rebellious side, not the same gentle female character we've had in the original series. So Boomtower calls the henchmen and the rangers start to fight. Izzy throws her skirt in the air and gives Javi her sword, as she grabs her javelin. Now this makes me wonder, that skirt is ripped off, but does it possess any connection to her powers or the morphing grid? Sort of like the green candle connection to Tommy's powers. When she demorphs, does it disappear and reappear when she morphs again? I think this could have been an interesting plot point. Someone finding it and trying to discover a way to connect to the morphing grid through it. But I have to say this is a pretty cool fight scene. They do this trick where Javi throws Izzy's sword back to her and she catches it with the javelin and whips it at Boomtower. Then uses the javelin to perch herself up a tree and then falls down, grabbing the saber and slashing Boomtower. Pretty awesome, honestly. Izzy says to Boomtower, "We're really vibing." And Boomtower says, "Vibing with a teenager?" And he teleports out. Izzy is the only teenager per se so far. The rest of them are working full-time or they're 65 million years old. So this is a real reference back to the original series and the teenagers with attitude. This is further referenced when the Rangers get into the Megazord and Izzy says, "My own console? Can it play music?" Which is a reference to Kimberly's first line in the Pterodactyl Zord when she says, "Nice stereo." They're kind of breaking the rules with Izzy. She is rough and tough, tearing off her skirt, being the athlete of the group, but she still has those teenager moments like Kimberly. This series, in my opinion, has some of the best Zord battles ever. The Megazord is running off of mountains, it jumps on top of one at one point, and it's just super fast. After they defeat Dragnarok, we get a cool shot of the 3 Zords with 5 Rangers in front of them. Pretty coolio. Zeo catches the sporks, and as the Rangers teleport, we see Void Knight watching them from a distance. At the base, Javi and Izzy are shocked to find out the Rangers' identities. Zeo says we had no idea the Tiger and Stego Dino keys survived. But as I stated about the plot hole, with the sabers and the Dino key connected, I feel like they had to know they weren't destroyed, but whatever. Ollie says, "Who knows what else is out there?" And Izzy says, "Maybe a couple of Zords for us." Zeo says, "Possibly." Then they introduce them to Solon. Javi realizes the orb is gone and the deadline for the article at Buzzblast is past due. We then cut to Buzzblast where Jayborg and Jane are giving this segment another try. This time talking about an electric fence that really brings us back to the traditional comedy style of the OG Ranger series. After being electrocuted, Jayborg says, "That was a shock." Jane praises her with, "Nice recovery." I love Jane. She is always so positive to her employees. When Jane comes out, Zeo and Javi say they didn't get the articles done. Jane calls out Javi for saving the orb. She says what you did took guts and determination, 2 things every good reporter needs. And it shows she hires people on their personality traits. I could totally see Jane interviewing someone from an Ivy League school talking down to her during the interview, and she just says, "You aren't right for this company's culture." Hey, plot hole. Where is the orb, Javi? What did you do with it? Is the museum opening an investigation? The guy drove off with it and that's it. Or did the Power Rangers come and tell the public what happened? Or mostly what happened. Jane tells Zeo close, but no Chihuahua. Now, of course, this is a reference to Erin Cahill's movie franchise where she starred in Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2 and 3. Okay, probably not, but I like to think it is. Jane tells Javi his first story is to find the best burger in Pine Ridge, and Amelia says, "That's totally different than my first story. Mine was the best taco." And as they walk away laughing, Ollie looks annoyed, which is definitely why Ollie could never get a job at Buzz Blast. Ain't right for the company culture, dude. Hey, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. And join the Foil Helmet. Subscribe below. Bye. Okay, complete honesty. I have an associate's degree in arts and science. Honestly, it makes absolutely no sense why these degrees go together or these subjects come together. I studied at a community college and you have to have like 2 science classes for your gen eds. This degree says if I took one more science class, which happened to be earth science, I would have the tag on of arts and science. The fact I have a degree that says science on it is absolutely laughable. I am terrible at science, and I actually barely passed earth science at all. I took it as a mini-mester, and I loved that class. I thought it was so cool. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, I got a C in the class, which means I guess I love the class more than I understood it. So, but hey, if you want terrible advice about science, ask me. I'm qualified. Pluto is a planet.